So the way in which St. Mark Lutheran Church can partner with the whole Evangelical Lutheran Church, but particularly in New England, you make it possible for the following. New mission starts, like Cathedral in the Night, an experiment where we partner with the Episcopal Church and the Congregational Church to do a creative outdoor worship service every Sunday. Or Good Neighbor Lutheran Church, which is in Quincy, in the Boston section, where we are reaching out to the Chinese immigrant community. And Ryan Lund, the pastor, just told me yesterday they have their first adult baptism. Or Intersection, in the middle of Dorchester, Boston. Tiffany Cheney is gathering a multicultural congregation. Or Mark Huber out in Sanctuary, developing a church entirely shaped around nuns. Now that's not N-U-N-S, that's N-O-N-E-S. People that have no religious affiliation, and they're finding that the gospel as it's articulated in a Lutheran congregation is exciting, interesting, and wonderful to be a part of. You help congregations in call processes. You actually are also supporting campus ministry, Camp Calumet, Lutheran Social Services, and Philadelphia Seminary. So the way in which your resources are used beyond the church have an impact, a significant impact. And I just really thank you and appreciate what you're doing in your community to bring the good news to people, some of whom have no idea how rich and wonderful the gospel of Jesus Christ can be. So thank you so much.
But we work with emergency needs every day. And I think church gets that too, that it's not the sensationalism of the one event, but it's the ongoing suffering of anyone in need. And that's where St. Mark's has stepped up time and time again, whether it's planning an event, doing a food drive, showing up at, for a rotation at the shelter or the soup kitchen. Everything matters. And from where I sit, I couldn't do it financially without you.
네, 저희가 1년 동안 세인트 마크 처치에서 같이 예배를 드렸습니다. 교단도 틀리고 서로 문화도 틀리고 살아온 모든 과정이 다 틀리지만 그리스도 안에서 한 형제임을 직접 보여준 그런 멋진 교회라고 저는 믿습니다. 모든 사람들이 보여준 친절과 그리스도 안에서 나누는 그 사랑의 의미를 이 세인트 마크 처치가 저희들에게 보여주었습니다. 앞으로도 이 교회가 더욱더 저희 교회와 더불어 많이 성장하며 하나님의 일을 나누는 그런 귀한 공동체가 되기를 주의 이름으로 축원합니다.
Usually, adult ed classes are held at the high school, which is a very large, impersonal structure, hard to navigate, where students feel a little overwhelmed. Here, it's totally different. We have a small, welcoming environment with 3 classrooms, a lounge that feels like a living room, use of a kitchen, classrooms where the chairs are set up in a circle so the students can interact with each other, get to know each other, laugh with each other. They have a sense of ownership of the classrooms. They have bulletin boards they can decorate. We have this wonderful map of the world which represents everybody who's here. So I really think the students who come here have a sense of ownership, feel safe. Safe to try to speak out. They have this sense that they're all in this together. And I think a lot of that has to do with this environment, that it is a place of comfort, learning, and joy.
Camp Calumet exists to support individuals, strengthen congregations in New England. And the cool thing is that individuals and congregations see to it that Camp Calumet can do that. So congregations all over New England, like you, St. Mark, support what we do in the way that you make a gift, in the way that you seek out the needs of your partner in ministry, Calumet. Families from St. Mark, individuals in St. Mark, have been loving Calumet for a long time, and that's part of what makes Calumet strong. Thank you.
It's the place where my best friends are, and they're special friends because we can talk about God in our lives. and how we are experiencing the love of God in our lives. And I especially enjoy the Bible study where we just keep digging and learning more and more about God's kingdom in our lives. And that's what it means to me.
So we came to St. Mark's because we were looking for a good church to raise a family in.
What we found was that Pastor Lydia and the whole congregation were very welcoming to our family, and everyone really enjoys seeing our son grow up and are always so happy to see us every week.
Without St. Mark's, I wouldn't be where I am today. It was St. Mark's that led me to my passion and love for the organ and total music in general. The community there is loving and welcoming, and everyone there is just great.
The church has been very important in my life. Having been raised in a Lutheran environment in rural Wisconsin, it was just ingrained in me to be, part of my life. Has always been. There have been times of trials and tribulations as everybody goes through, and have relied on the church for my support. And I've gotten it. The friends here at church, and not only this church, but other churches that we have been members of, have always been near and dear to us, and hopefully we give to them as much as we've gotten from them. And that's the kind of like the basis of stewardship, that we are born with nothing, we leave with nothing, and everything in between comes from God. And it's just what we have and are able to give back to God. That's what the church means to me.
Here at St. Mark, every single pastor who has preached here has helped me find my own spiritual journey. Before coming to St. Mark, it was something of a mystery to me, and every one of them have helped me on my journey, and that's meant a lot to me.
Yeah, when I first came here, I didn't understand what people meant when they said, on this spiritual journey, and I just had no context for what that actually meant. But here, I definitely feel like there's been growth in my understanding of what God does for us and what God wants us to do for others. So there's been a wonderful just growth over time.
And it seems kind of obvious, but for me, without St. Mark, I don't think I would think as spiritually or religiously. I wouldn't necessarily turn all the time to prayer or thinking about God and the scriptures. It's something that as a teenager isn't always on your mind, and it's not always what you want to think about, or you want to take the time to come sit at church for an hour and listen. But after basically growing up here and learning about God and the Bible here, it's always been an important part of my life.
Yeah. Being here on Sunday mornings puts my heart in the right place for the rest of the week. It gives me the focus that I need and reminds me of what's really important. And the people in these pews have given us so much. They're people who are true friends, who are there for you when things are going well and when things aren't going well. And they've also given us wonderful examples of what it means to live a Christian life, to be a good parent, to be in a strong, faithful marriage, the important things.
I feel like we've made the best friends of all at church. I mean, it's with families, with kids my age, and also just with anyone. We've always made really valuable relationships with people here and learned so much from each one of them.